There we go. All right, awesome. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Nonprofit Enthusiast Live. Good morning, Debbie. Thank you for joining us again. We always love when you come on, and we know that we're going to get a lot of good tidbits today, so we appreciate you for coming on and joining us.
Happy to be here, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hopefully people will get a chance to spend time with their families and friends next week and get a little bit of a break. It's been a busy year.
Agreed, agreed, yes. So if you are tuning in, we're going to give it a few minutes before we get started. So if you are tuning in, go ahead and invite a friend over into the Facebook group so that they can tune in to our conversation today. Our topic continues to be Giving Tuesday and fundraising. And Debbie is going to focus on the area of fundraising, particularly donor stewardship today, along with some Giving Tuesday tips as we get ready for the biggest time, one of the biggest times for nonprofits in a year that we look forward to, hashtag Giving Tuesday. So we're going to talk about that. If you are joining us on replay, give us a hashtag replay in the chat box so that we know that you are here. And while we're waiting for others to join, just give us a good morning. How you doing? So that we know that you are tuning in. And before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank this month's sponsor. A special thanks to this month's sponsor, Roots Art Store. If you're looking for personalized jewelry to show your loved one appreciation, be sure to check them out. And we will make sure that we share that information in the chat box as well. All right, so we're going to just give it a few minutes, Debbie, and then we're going to jump right into today's conversation. Sure. And I can't wait to hear more about it. Every time you come on, I learn so much. One that I remember from our initial conversation was OMR, and now everything that we're planning, I'm like, well, what's the outcome?
That's right. That's right.
Before we even start.
Really useful little tool, isn't it? Mm-hmm, you keep that, if you keep that objective in mind at all times, it really does keep you on track.
Right.
Yep. It's easy to remember, small little thing, but it makes a big difference.
Yep. Love it. Yeah. So good. All right. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
I'm going to hand it over to you. If you don't mind, I know you've been on a few times, just talking a little bit about yourself. And then we'll kind of go into today's topic of the Giving Tuesday and stewardship conversation.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I have been working in educational fundraising and development since 1997. I'm currently the executive director of the Foundation for Orange County Public Schools, which is a unique space. A lot of people think, well, I pay my taxes, so schools are fully funded, right? Like, well, there's there's a lot of help that's needed in terms of time, talent, and treasure within our schools. But I've also done almost every role that you have in a development office. So started as a prospect researcher, moved into stewardship and grants. And then from there, I also did a lot of work with the nominating committee, and so vetting board members, then into directing an annual fund, which moved me into major gifts, and then overseeing teams doing events as fundraisers, but also as friendraisers, because where I started my career, we didn't do events as fundraisers, but we did alumni weekends and receptions all across the country, efforts to, connect with our audiences. And so, I grew up here in Florida. I'm a very proud public school product here in Florida. So I am very excited to be doing the work I'm doing now, and making sure that all of our children, who I believe very strongly are our most precious resource, that all of our kids have everything they need for a free, equitable, high quality education so they can reach their greatest potential. We want to, invest in our children today to strengthen the entire community tomorrow. those, kindergartners and first graders and second graders, they're, tomorrow's presidents and plumbers and doctors and, and architects and, every role you can think of, we need to prepare them. And for roles we haven't even dreamt of yet.
Right.
I can't imagine what the careers are that our kindergartners are going to be doing.
That's true.
25 years from now. So yeah, that's what I do. And that's why I do it too. I believe very strongly in nonprofit work and investing in our community.
Love it. Well, thank you for all the work that you do.
Sure.
Yep. So we know in what is it, 2 weeks almost, or less than 2 weeks, there's the big
2 weeks
day of Giving Tuesday.
Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday has really grown exponentially over the last 10 years. And especially as social media has flourished, Giving Tuesday is something that everybody should be doing and you can do. There are a couple things. If you don't have your idea yet, you still have a little bit of time to get ready. But you want to think about Giving Tuesday in that because it is generally online and pushed heavily through email and social media, any projects that you have that have some sense of urgency are going to be the best ones to choose. This is going to, you're going to make a difference quickly as a donor. And remember, you want to be donor centered in the sense of, it's not about your need as much as it is about the change or the impact that the donor wants to make and what is attractive and inspirational to them. So having an impact, being able to express that impact quickly as a result of Giving Tuesday is really important. So maybe you have you're trying to finish out buying software that's important for you to do your work, or you need to finish building a building, or you need to make sure you're ready for, let's say you are doing social services of some kind and the holidays are a big, big time to help. You want to make sure that food bank is full, or the, your coat drive is ready to go. Something that has some timeliness and urgency to it, that people can envision the impact. They can picture what their dollars are going to do. Those tend to work best.
Okay.
And it is Giving Tuesday, really your audience is individuals. Giving Tuesday is not ideal necessarily for corporations and foundations, though some do that. You're doing social media and email. So you're really talking to the individuals who support your organization. And it's a great time to build your individual donors. Great time, especially if you're using Facebook, using LinkedIn, you're using Instagram, using Twitter, making use of, and I'm sure I've missed some, but making use of all of those social media channels. And you want to be on every single one that you possibly can be, with a simple message that shows impact quickly and helps it be very clear to donors that even if it's a small gift, it's going to make a big, big difference. That's an important message. You want people to feel like their gift isn't just going to be going into a black hole. So specificity about your goal, urgency works really well. If you have just the one day, you need to be prepared throughout that day. If you can do this, it's really important to provide updates throughout the day. And hopefully you've been teasing, or you can start teasing your Giving Tuesday campaign now. So impulse gifts are great, but you want people to plan a little bit. This is the flip side of the urgency. Yes, you want some urgency, but you want people to know it's coming so they can plan to give you the maximum gift they can give on that day. So it is important to have, some teasers out there that it's coming and what it's for. And then on the day, you want to share your progress on the day if you can. At the very least, the next day or the day after, you want to say thank you to everyone who participated and let them know what the impact is. Now, let's say you didn't meet your goal.
Mhm.
That sometimes happens. What you want to do at least is share, what you did raise is going to help you do.
Mhm.
So let's pick something that we can quantify with a dollar amount. Let's say it's Kids Closet for us here at OCPS, which provides clothing to children who are either homeless or are dealing with a sudden change in their situation. If we know that $10 is going to purchase an entire outfit, provide an entire outfit, and let's say we were trying to raise 5,000, but we got to 4,000, we still can say accurately, thank you so much for your support. We're able to provide clothing for 400 children because of your support. And you can, share the impact, focus on the impact. Don't worry about the number if you didn't meet your goal. You still want to share and make sure that you're cheerleading for those donors and making them, the hero of the story, because they still, more likely than not, did quite a bit that's going to help. It's good to set a goal. It's okay if you don't quite get there. Say thank you for what it is going to do. Those are key pieces for Giving Tuesday, and keep it simple. Don't make it too complicated. It doesn't have to be everything for everyone. Pick one project that really is going to benefit from a quick infusion.
I love that. I love that you said kind of keep it donor centric, and then also looking at the focusing on an impact, because yes, I've ran Giving Tuesday campaigns and you do get a little discouraged when you don't meet your goal, but it's like you still are able to impact individuals using what you did raise and being able to share that. So I love that you share that.
Yeah, it's important to celebrate your wins, and your wins aren't necessarily, it's not a failure just because you didn't meet your goal. You raised money you didn't have before that's going to help you meet your mission. So that's the focus. And you want to make sure that you tell those donors how much they're helping you meet your mission, making sure that's very clear. You want to inspire them to continue on. Giving Tuesday is often a time when especially individual donors will kind of put their toe in the water and see how you're going to treat their gift. It might be the first time they've given. So for that reason, you want to make sure your stewardship is strong with them, especially if you pay attention, are they new donors? And make sure your thank you message is welcoming them into the family and thanking them for their support and that impact that they're creating.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you hit on something, stewardship, which is something else we're going to talk about today. But really quick, before we do that, I just want to go over and so we have Noelle said, thank you for this. And then Tanya, good morning, Tanya. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. So pretty much Debbie just shared some tips for Giving Tuesday. And if you have not started your Giving Tuesday campaign, you have a little bit of time to use these tips and put them into place. Do something. Don't just let it pass by. Do something. And then maybe next year, you'll go ahead and expand on your efforts. So if you're listening, make sure that you're doing something for Giving Tuesday, especially around that time. They're just this special feeling because you got Black Friday, you just finished looking for all these sales, then you got the Small Business Saturday where you're trying to look out to support small businesses, and then Cyber Monday, and then here we are Giving Tuesday. It's a great way to wrap up all your shopping, like you feel good about giving to organizations and so forth. So you want to make sure that you do something and educate your audience on the impact that they can make by contributing to your organization.
It's a great time to take a look at, if you don't want to do a full-blown campaign, it's also a great time to look at, I'll introduce a term that might be new to some people, but you want to look at your live bunts. Live bunts, it's an acronym. It's for people who gave last year, but unfortunately not this. So those are going to be your people who gave to your organization during your last fiscal year. You haven't recaptured them yet. That is a key audience, especially as you're going into, for us, we're going into the second half of our fiscal year. For many other nonprofits, they may be finishing their year. Is there anybody out there who you haven't kind of gathered up yet and had their support come in, you could do a specialized directed Giving Tuesday message to them. You check your database, find out who gave last year who hasn't yet given again. Most database packages should have a LIBUNT report just built right in, so you don't have to figure it out. You just run that report, find out who that is, and then focus your message to them. That would be an email campaign for them. So just a thought, if you're thinking, okay, I'm not ready to do a big full blown, focus on your LIBUNTs. That's a really key audience. This is old data, but the general rule of thumb is that it costs about $1.15 to raise $1 from a new donor, but it costs about 35 cents to raise $1 from a previous donor. So that those LIBUNTs are key audience members to focus on. And you can start with a thank you. You've been critical to our ability to meet our mission. You've made this incredible impact in the past. We hope you'll join us again this year and continue to help us grow and have the impact that you describe that impact, whatever that might be for your organization. So yeah.
Love it. Love it. And then you touched on something that, and then I'm gonna go over to the chat box. I see your question, Tanya, and I'm gonna bring that up in a second. You touched on something when it came to donor, like having your donor software should be able to pull some of these reports. And I know that there are quite a few organizations in the group that they're newer, so they may still be using spreadsheets.
Yes. So in that case, you want to look for whatever your fiscal year is. You're going to want to look for their last gift was dated before that. So for me, we run July 1 to June 30th. So if I were running this on an Excel spreadsheet, I would sort it by their last gift date, and I would look for anybody whose last gift date is earlier than June 30, 2022.
Got it.
That's how I would do it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So they haven't given yet from July 1 to now. So I haven't recaptured them yet. So that's my group that I need to go back and get. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So then Tanya says, where do you sign up for Giving Tuesday?
Where do you sign up for Giving Tuesday?
Yes. And
you don't really sign up. You announce via social media that you're doing a Giving Tuesday effort, and you tell your audiences that you're doing that. So it's not really signing up for Giving Tuesday. It is having doing a little mini campaign or a mini, appeal on the day of Giving Tuesday and promoting it ahead of time, at least a couple of days ahead of time if you can. So even the Friday after Thanksgiving is perfectly fine. Before on Black Friday, while you're out there shopping, don't forget have a great time. Hope you had a wonderful time with your families. Have fun shopping, and don't forget that on Giving Tuesday, we're gonna need you too. So even something as simple as that, by email or social media. Yeah, you don't need anything complicated. It doesn't have to be a big fancy graphic. You just need to have a purpose and an impact to share with your donors. Yep.
Awesome. And then Tanya, I'm going to drop, so there's a website, givingtuesday.org, and they have like toolkits on there for Giving Tuesday. So let's say you're at you're like, I don't know what to do. They even have pre-made social media posts for you. And so check out that website, givingtuesday.org. But like Debbie mentioned, you don't necessarily sign up for it, but there is resources available for you on that website. Yep. So definitely check that website out.
Yep.
Awesome. So I know we were also going to talk about stewardship. Can you talk about first, what is stewardship and what does that mean to an organization?
Absolutely. A lot of people think stewardship is just recognition and saying thank you, but it's not. It's more than that. Stewardship is taking good care of what's been given to you. So we are all stewards of the funds that we hold. Something that sometimes volunteers who help with fundraising get confused about. They think, well, I did the work, I raised the money, I get to decide where it goes. No, we're stewards. It's not our money. It's the donor's money. It has to be put towards the purpose that they specified, whatever that may be. And it's important for us to show them through stewardship efforts that we are doing a good job at taking care of what they've given to us, that we're creating the impact that they're expecting, that we are being fiscally sound with their dollars, those sorts of things. So stewardship is one of those places that helps emphasize that development work and working in philanthropy is not about asking for money. It's about building relationships and helping donors create the impact, create the change and impact that they are looking to create, what they want to do when it's a match with your organization. So stewardship is a lot more than just saying thank you. And at this time of year, especially between Thanksgiving and the winter holidays, that the focus on gratitude, the focus on thankfulness, the focus on where I am blessed in various ways is a wonderful time to reach out to your donors, regardless of where it is in your fiscal year, and just say thank you. Saying thank you for what they've helped create. And if you want to really engage your board, I highly recommend doing a thankathon. A thankathon, you can do it all together. It's a lot of fun to do it together. If you've got a space where you can have multiple phones and board members can use their cell phones if they're comfortable doing that. But they also can do it from home. And the idea is to take a list of those who've given to you this year and make a simple phone call. And the phone call is just this, hi, Lashina, this is Debbie Pedraza. I'm a board member with XYZ nonprofit. Just wanted to call and thank you so much for the support you provided this year. We're very grateful to count you as part of the family, and I hope you'll continue your support. And if I've got you on the phone, I can then say, is there anything that you'd like to share about why you support our organization, or any questions or concerns you might have? And then that can lead into a dialogue. The beauty of a thankathon is two things. Number one, it's a great way to engage your board members and help them be ambassadors out in the community. The second thing is, even if you get voicemail and you don't get a chance to talk to a person, you can still leave that message, that thank you message, and the number for the nonprofit if they have questions or want to share anything. And it's just as powerful, whether you reach them or not. And what I find, and I tell my team this all the time, with stewardship, you want to aim for surprise and delight. We want to surprise and delight our donors, and people are really surprised to get a phone call at this time of year.
Yes.
It's not asking them for anything. And they are delighted to be thanked and delighted to be asked if there's anything else that they want to share. It's such a simple, easy thing to do, and it builds the relationship, even if you end up on voicemail. So it's something that if you can do it, that's great. If you can't do it now, Valentine's Day is a great time to do it as well. Give a little love to your donors. You can do it at the end of your fiscal year. You can do it at the beginning of your fiscal year. But this time of year right now, especially coming to the end of the tax year, and our focus on being grateful, being thankful, appreciation, this is a wonderful time to do it. And it gives your donors that warm and fuzzy feeling that you want them to have when they think about you and think about the work that you're doing. So I highly recommend it. It can take a little bit of work to put together, to pull that information and make sure you have the phone numbers. It's a great way to clean up your database too, because if you get wrong numbers, you can, figure that out and go back, do the research. But the main purpose, like I said, is surprise and delight. And really, putting that positive spotlight back on your donors.
I love that. Just you going through it made me feel all warm and fuzzy, because just
Yeah.
thinking about,
Yeah.
you're right, receiving a call in this day and age, just to say thank you, that means a lot, just knowing that the organization took the time and felt that I was, I deserve that time
Yeah.
just to say thank you. Because the next thing I'm going to do when we hang up, well, how can I help them? That's the first thing that's going to come. Well, they did all of that. How can I give that back? So then it becomes
Mhm.
like a back and forth, so I
Yeah.
love the thankathon.
And once you get comfortable doing that, you can build it into your everyday process so that when you get a gift that's a major gift, that it's very natural and comfortable for you or your board members to pick up the phone right away and say thank you before that tax receipt goes out, before they're waiting for the thank you note, whatever it might be, to have it feel as natural as possible, to pick up the phone and just say, we got your gift today and it's really going to make a difference. We're so grateful for the support that you provide. It's important to provide a giving history if you can, for those who are gonna speak. And I've got some tips on how to do calls and I'll send them on to you, Lashina, and you can
Okay.
share them with anybody who wants them.
Okay.
They're just the tips for making calls even with some scripting that could be modified for what they need for their own organization. I'm happy to share that.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And we'll definitely
Sure.
share that in the group. So something that came up a few times in the conversation is having some sort of system for managing your donors. And
Yes.
can we just talk a little bit about, I guess, you started your organization, you might start out with a spreadsheet or something like that.
Sure.
At what point should you explore moving from that phase of the spreadsheet into a system? Because I know the systems will cut down on quite a bit. And it'll also allow the opportunity to run different reports and being able to have various touch points, such as the happy birthdays, the happy anniversary. How are you doing? Which is not necessarily the easiest to maintain on a spreadsheet. Can we just talk a little bit about that for an organization that's tuning in? We're still using spreadsheets. At what point should we go into a system, start exploring moving into a system?
Sure. So let's talk first about something even more basic.
Okay.
In what is a database? Essentially,
okay.
If you want to think about it this way, a database is a whole bunch of Excel spreadsheets stacked on top of each other, all with different fields that you can dig down through in various directions to get the information that you need. I think once your Excel spreadsheet is beyond the level of, if you have to slide way over to see all the fields, it's time to start looking for something else. Now, the Microsoft does Excel. They actually have a basic database. It's called Access, and Microsoft Office suites usually include Access. So if you're just getting started and you've been working with Excel spreadsheets, take a look at Access. You probably already have it. And it's a very basic database, but it is that same kind of idea. It gives you more fields to look at and to be able to work with. And it's that kind of stacked database. So we happen to use Donor Perfect. When you look at Donor Perfect in its traditional layout, it literally looks like a series of tabbed index cards with, a certain grouping of fields on the main tab, a certain grouping of fields on the gift and pledge tab, certain grouping of fields on the bio tab, but all of those are searchable. And usually the most powerful thing about a database product that's meant for fundraising is that it comes with reports that are ready to go. You don't have to figure out how to do pivot tables and slice and dice all of your information to get good reports. It's already there for you. So, and a lot of donor software, it's not so much a database. I'm saying database, but the proper term is a CRM, which is a client relationship management system. That you want a CRM type of a platform. Most of those are priced based on two things: how many records you need to store and how many users need to be able to use it simultaneously. So it can be quite inexpensive to move over to a package that's designed for you. It's worth exploring. Razor's Edge is super expensive. Don't go there if you're brand new. But something like Donor Perfect, something like, let's see, I think Donor Search is one that's fairly inexpensive. Bloomerang, I think does some good breakdowns. And Salesforce has been working on a nonprofit product for a while. They were aimed more at sales and marketing at first. And the challenge with them initially was you need to be able to keep a lot of history in your reports and in your data over time. And they weren't keeping very much. They would keep like 5 years. When you're in educational fundraising, like I am, I need decades worth of information when the relationships have been strong. I do see somebody has their hand up. I don't think it's me.
Oh,
maybe it is me. Nope. It was my,
okay.
It was my cursor. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I have my hand up. Sorry.
So yeah. And I love that you shared that, because actually this week I went on a call with Donor Perfect to do a demo, and it looks like a really good software and setup. And it looks like it also has the opportunity for growth. So you can start out small, doing a few things. And then as your, efforts continue to grow, you can just go up in packages, because your needs are going to grow within that one software without having to switch, companies.
Exactly. And this is an unpaid advertisement for them.
It is, yes.
I've used them. I learned on Razor's Edge at an organization that was very mature and had the budget for it. But I've chosen Donor Perfect twice for my own teams at other places because it is customizable. The customer service is second to none. They are outstanding about that. And they constantly listen to feedback from their customers and requests, and they constantly improve the product and add more options along the way. I've always had a good experience with them. Awesome. And they're very, very reasonably priced. Now, reasonably priced is relative. I understand that, because some, especially if you're new or small, and you don't have the time or the budget yet, that I can understand. But it's a great product. I would say it's like a good, reliable Honda. It has everything you need.
Right.
There are a few things that, it'd be nice to have a Hummer now and then.
Right.
But it's, if you're not going to use all the bells and whistles yet, there's no need to invest in them, and it can grow with you very well. Yeah.
I love that. So maybe I have to maybe I'll ask them to come on and we can do a demo in the group for it, because I did a demo this week and it was really good. And then to hear you talking about it also. And then also you talked about Microsoft Access as a database and a resource for nonprofits, and Microsoft Suite is free for nonprofit organizations as well. So that works out. If you're looking for something and you're trying to, because I was there, trying to get off the Excel spreadsheet, but wanting to keep costs down. But at the same time, it's kind of like that balance. When you build efficiency, you're able to do more, cultivate your relationships more, bring in more donations. So I kind of had to balance those, that
capacity building. You do have to invest and invest in yourself. But if you need an intermediate step, Access is a good place to go from an Excel spreadsheet. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. We covered a lot. We covered Giving Tuesday. We covered stewardship, and we also talked about CRMs for nonprofits. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss before we close out today?
I will say this, with 2 hurricanes having hit our community this year, with us still emerging from the pandemic, I want to say to everybody out there, take this next week, take the holiday time, take care of yourselves, enjoy your families, enjoy your friends, and give yourself credit for the amazing work that you're doing, because you are making a huge difference in our community, even when it's hard for you to see. It is happening. It is happening. And every time your donors give, they are saying thank you for the work that you're doing. So remember that and give yourself credit. Give yourself credit for the great things you're doing, and rest, relax, and be ready. Hit that ground running.
Yes, to
back.
close out this year. Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you,
welcome.
Debbie, so much for joining us. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Before we close out, I just want to mention, because of Thanksgiving next week, our session will be on Tuesday. So we'll see you here live on Tuesday. And we'll continue the conversation on this month's theme of Giving Tuesday and Friendraising. We'll be 1 week away next Tuesday from Giving Tuesday. So we'll be back on next week. Other than that, I just want to once again thank our sponsor, Roots Art Store. If you're looking for any personalized jewelry to show your loved ones appreciation, please make sure that you check them out. And we thank you all for continuing to join us, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.